This is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Your RV guide for Oklahoma and beyond. Give us a call at 918-460-KRMG. Now, let's hit the road.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Camping with Wade's RV. You're listening to 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Skyler Cooper along with Willy D. And, dude, we're face-to-face today.
Hey, it's a very refreshing change. I mean, it's been months and months since we've been able to do this. So.
We haven't been in the same place doing a show since March, I think it was. And so today we're out on location at Wade's RV, 161st and Highway 75. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you today.
So you can get a hold of us by obviously coming out to the store. We have our location at 161st and Highway 75, and we also have our location at 121st and Highway 75. So you can come out to either locations, and right now we're actually taking donations for the Blue Star Mothers, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And you can always give us a call at 918-291-1011, and my favorite website on the whole entire internet, wadesrv.com. So www.wadesrv.com. You can find us there, and there's lots of great tools. If you want to know what your trade is worth, we can tell you that. If you want to buy an RV, we can do that. We can do just about everything. You can even set up a service appointment. So really great website. Get on there, check it out, and of course, come on out here to Wade's RV, and you can see me and all the Blue Star Mothers out here today.
So we talked about how it's been since March since we got to do the show in the same place together, and for several weeks, like 2 months of that time, I was at home, and you were here in various places, and then I went back to the studio, and you've still been kind of around town. And today I get to join you for – now I see why you've been doing this.
Yes.
We are sitting in one of the nicest RVs not one of. This is the nicest RV I've ever been in personally. Tell me what I'm sitting in and what is – so, I mean, you've told me about this, but just describe this thing a little bit.
So right now we're sitting in the brand new Newmar Newaire, lots of news in there, and it's a 2021, and this thing is just incredible. And there's lots of different things that are awesome about this. I mean, you can start at the front door and just kind of work your way back, but it's a shorter, very high-end luxury unit with a lot of power. So typically in the past, you've been looking at smaller units. Usually you're going to have a small engine, and a lot of times people like to pull big trailers with their motorhomes and things. So having a shorter, compact one makes a big difference, and when you pair it with that big engine, it just opens up your capabilities, and then going up in those mountains, you're not going to have any problem at all. It's like driving a Ferrari. So really nice with that, and then the luxury just all around is great. Whenever you don't think you can get more lights, you can. I mean, look over here. We have one that's still turned off, and this thing is just lit up and immaculate, and one of my favorite features is actually the lit up fascias right on the slide outs.
That's really nice.
So really, really cool, and it's got a very unique design. I like the basket weaving up on the roof instead of just the old school. I don't know, it feels like 1990s whenever you walk in some of those motorhomes with the big mirrors and stuff on the roof, and so you're not going to have that. This actually has a nice cream interior to it, and my favorite thing is the furniture. We sat down in that earlier, and you can just feel the leather. It's a very premium leather, and in the past, whenever you're looking at RVs, it was always pleather. It didn't matter if you're looking at $1 million bus or a $500,000 bus. I mean, it was all just pleather, and so right in here we have real genuine leather, and you can see it and you can feel it, more importantly, whenever you're sitting there and whenever you're out there on the road. This is going to get you there, and you're going to be able to feel like you are at your house. I mean, back there we were talking about the shower. It's actually got a full tile shower, and so it makes it very comfortable and very residential. All residential appliances. You have a full-size fridge with water, with ice. I believe you even have a dishwasher in here. So it has just about every option.
It's really, really nice. You mentioned not only the leather, but just the plushness of sitting down. The seats over here are great. I imagine driving in that, you're not going to get sore. That's a really nice driver's seat.
Yes, and that's one of the great things about whenever you are in a motorhome and you're traveling down the road. I've done a lot of road trips. We talk about the different deliveries and things that I do, and one thing I hate is, you've been working all day, you've been driving down the road, and then you're tired whenever you get there, and you can't enjoy yourself. Whenever you're driving this rig and any Newmar, you're going to be feeling great whenever you arrive at your destination, and you're not going to be having that jet lag, and that's because, for one, you have a bigger, wider seat. It's going to be more comfortable. It's a different use. This thing is meant for going down the road. Your car is usually meant for going to day-to-day destinations, so you're not necessarily sitting in there for 8 to 10 hours at a time. This thing, you can really put some miles on it and really turn some miles into memories, and you're talking about how comfortable the furniture is. If you're an RV person, let me tell you why. It's all flex steel, and so flex steel has been around in the RV industry for many, many years, and it's known as the best of the best, and so that's what you're going to have in this Newmar.
Now, this cabinet over here is interesting. There's a little electric fireplace, and above it, it looks like you could store some stuff, probably not while you're driving, I don't know, but it's backlit. It looks like something's nicer than in a lot of homes.
Oh, yeah, so it has backlighting right behind there. You could put a DVD player if you wanted in there, or a whole bunch of different things. What's nice is whenever you're traveling down the road, you can put whatever you want back in there, because that slide that Miss Susan is in, Yeah, it actually comes on
this
in.
covers it.
Yes, yeah. So whenever that comes in, it's going to cover that up, and so those doors aren't going to come out. And there's actually a double locking system, so it's not like going in your house where you can just kind of pop open the cabinet. They actually have little locks on there, so that way it makes sure it's shut and in place, and nothing's going to come out of order.
I see what you mean now about the slides. The old school slides you had to step up onto, and now
Yes.
it's just seamless. Yeah,
Yes.
I almost didn't realize it was a slide over there.
Yeah, so with the Newmars, Newmar was actually the first company to actually come out with a slide out. So they've been innovating the RV world for many, many years. And one of the Newmar family, actually, one of the wives, I can't remember which one, but she was complaining about actually having that step where you're having to step into it and just the way that system worked. And so with this new slide system, whenever it comes in, it actually lifts up off that ground about 6 inches and comes in. And what makes that important is whenever it goes out, it's going to drop down about 6 inches and go into place. And so it makes for a seamless transition right over to that other slide. And people hate carpet in RVs, and this allows you to have tile all the way across and in all of your slides, so it makes it really nice, and it matches up. I mean, everyone loves uniformity, so it makes it really, really convenient, and just takes it to that next level where those other companies aren't taking those additional steps, and they're not being innovative, and they're not doing that research and development.
Hey, producer Tim is back at the studio. I sent him a couple of pictures right before we went on the air of what we're sitting in today, and I said, this is a super nice thing, and he said, that's road trip time. Let's go.
Yeah,
I said, you're driving.
is.
And then he gave me the, Tim, what did you say? That the driver gets to pick the music. What did you choose? All right. Well, hey, if I'm riding in this, I think I can tolerate the disco for a little bit.
I would be in for a disco. You got to invite me on that camping trip. It sounds like a great time. So,
well, actually, if you're going, then you can drive, Tim, because I don't know if, Tim might be like me, a little intimidated by this thing. You can drive this.
I can drive it, but we actually give driving lessons on how to drive these rigs because guess what? I had to have a driving lesson one day, just like I had to have a driving lesson with my normal car. And so we actually, if you are, wanting to get a motorhome, but you're kind of intimidated by, I just don't know if I can drive that. I don't, it's a big investment. And so we want to make sure you're comfortable with it. You can come to the Willy D driving school. I've never been on an airplane, kind of run strip where they're doing all the directing with the cones and stuff, but I pretend like I am. And so I'll go over to Walmart where we have a big parking lot, and we can really navigate through there, and it makes it really easy so you can get comfortable with your rig. I do tell people whenever you are traveling down the road, it's going to take you about 4 to 5 miles to get really comfortable with that driving experience because it's something new. And so you kind of have to learn where your mirrors are and where your cameras are. But the great thing about a unit like this is it has cameras all the way around. So whenever you hit a turn signal, you're going to be able to see to the left of you. You're going to be able to see to the right of you, and it actually lets you see in front and behind, so you can actually have a 360 view. And so it makes it really nice, not only going down the road, but as security. And so if someone's knocking on your door and stuff, you can just look on your camera and see who's at the front door versus having to go up, pull up the window, and then you're busted. Guess what if it was your annoying uncle and you didn't want to answer? You're going to be safe from any trouble like that. And so it makes it really convenient, and it makes it really easy to drive. Where I'm not to brag, but most people pass Willy D's driving school and they feel pretty comfortable with it, and they go ahead and get a motorhome. But sometimes you do need that instruction instead of someone just tossing you the keys. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to know what you're doing. And so we really focus on that, and we'd like to give people lessons. And whenever you do purchase an RV from Wade's RV, we give you a full demo, not just on how to use it and drive it, but how to actually use the systems, because if you've never used them, you just want to know. And so we'll teach you how to turn on those water pumps, how to dump the tanks, how to fill up the tanks, how to turn on the fridge, when you should turn on the fridge. If you have a propane fridge, you're going to have to turn it on a little bit earlier versus that electric one. And so we walk you through and give you those tips of the trades and things like that.
It kind of blew my mind a little bit ago. You called this compact.
Yes.
So explain to me, kind of a newbie, first of all, how long is this? How long might one that's not compact be?
Yeah, so this one is about 34 foot long, and that's bumper to bumper. Whenever you're talking about large and not compact, you're going to be able to go up to that 45-foot bus, and you're going to have the tag axles and things of that nature. And so with motorhomes, really the shortest Class A's you're going to be getting into is in those 30 foots. I've never seen one that's 24 foot. Usually that's going to be your Class C's. But with this, it is going to be one of those shorters. They do make some 32s as well, so if you are looking for something a little bit shorter, Newmar does have it out there for you. And what's really cool with a unit like this and the caliber that it is, you get to custom design it. So whenever you come over to Wade's RV, we're going to look at a book, and you're going to be able to pick out your tile, you're going to be able to pick out your cabinets, and all of that sort of cool stuff.
Let's go ahead and take a break. You're listening to Camping with Wade's RV. This is KRMG. We are live at Wade's RV today, 161st on Highway 75. We'll tell you about what's going on out here today and why you want to swing by. We're broadcasting from the Newmar Newaire. This is the nicest studio I've ever been in, I can tell you that much. Hey, if you have any questions, give us a call, 918-460-KRMG, 460-5764. We'll be right back.
KRMG, Tulsa's new.
For the first time in person in months.
Man, it's awesome. I love it, and I'm glad that we have everyone out here at Wade's RV because we are having a great day out here. Every RV that we have on the lot has been marked down by thousands because a portion of each RV that's sold today is going to be going back to these great Blue Star mothers. So really excited about that. And then we're also taking donations. So if you want to bring some of those donations by, you can get on our Facebook or website. I have a full list. It's about 42 different items that they're really in desperate need of. And so that's going to help support our troops overseas. And they even help a lot of veterans here at home.
We are live on location at Wade's RV, 161st and Highway 75. You can call them, 918-291-1011. Or call us right now if you have any questions about RVs or you want to know anything about this Newaire we're sitting in. We can try to answer it for you. 918-460-KRMG, 460-5764. Willy D, even in the 2 months that I broadcast from home, I was never as comfortable as I am right now sitting in this RV. This thing is so cool, so I'm glad that we were able to work this out. We'll be talking with Susan here in a little bit from Blue Star Mothers, but introduce us to our first guest, who you've known quite a long time, and as I understand it, is a rock star in the RV world.
Yeah, so Jason has been around the RV world for quite some time. He's actually been in the RV world longer than me. So whenever I first started, his office was right next to mine, and so he really helped me out, kind of guided me along the way, taught me a lot of the things I know today, so we can either thank him or blame him for that. And so, yeah, he's been in the RV world for quite some time, and this weekend, or this week, he actually got a promotion. So now he's actually one of our sales managers here at Wade's RV, just making our team here at Wade's RV that much stronger and that much better overall to help our customers, because there's a lot of things that go into being a sales manager. It's not just writing deals, it's making sure that RVs are working. We're out there jump starting a whole lot of them. As we talk about at Wade's RV, everyone gets dirty out here. You know, we're willing to grab a wrench and get down to it, and that's exactly what he was doing this morning. But I wanted to have him come on here and kind of talk about some of the different specials that we're having and some of the different inventory. I don't necessarily get to get on there and get in the ground all the time and see all that new stuff, so I figured it'd be really great to have him on here and talk to our listeners, and so they can learn a little bit more about him.
Jason, welcome to Camping with Wade's RV. How you doing?
Doing good, thank you.
So we have it set up really cozy over here. Tell us, first of all, Willy D described this already, but I want to hear how you would describe this Newaire and that chair you're sitting in, and what's your opinion of this model?
This Newaire is so comfortable and nice in such a small package. It's awesome. You got to come out here and see it. You won't see anything else like this in the area, I promise. This chair is so comfortable, I just want to close my eyes and take a nap.
Yeah, why'd you sit up? You were kicked back a minute ago.
I was kicked back. I was getting too relaxed.
You don't want to fall asleep in here, but hey, man, this is one of the coolest ones. You know, I like a lot of the stuff you show me. I see the Sabre next door over here. We've talked about the Evokes. What else you guys got running right now?
We got Catalinas, which is one of our favorite brands that we carry. A lot of bunkhouses, great for families. Come out here and check them out. We also have Aspen Trail, is another great family travel trailer that you can get into. Come out and see what we got. If we don't have it, we can get it.
That's absolutely correct. One thing that's really cool that I think is just the level of expertise that we have here at Wade's RV. Jason has actually been up to Indiana. He's actually seen how these things are put together. So we talk about, you know, how great this is. We can actually show you why. We can kind of deconstruct it for you because not everyone's been up there. And I always used to kind of brag to people. I say, you know, if you're going to go talk to someone else today, go ask them if they've actually been up there to that factory and stuff. And so all of that level of expertise, that's why we have the brands that we have, is because we've seen how they're put together, and we want to have the very, very best for our customers.
That sounds like the way to go, really.
Oh, yeah. It's absolutely the way to go. Whenever we pick out a different brand, you know, if we're going to bring them on, we, for one, want to make sure that the brand is going to support the customers. Not just that they have a well-built unit, but we want to make sure it supports them. So whenever we're talking about a Newmar, you know, gas or diesel rig, it's really cool. There's actually a sticker in the window with an individual's name, and he's on call 24/7. And so this guy basically, or lady, basically has taken this RV completely apart. They're master certified technicians, and so they can help you, you know, troubleshoot, but more importantly, get you the parts and different things that you need. With Newmar, if you have a problem and they don't give us an answer within 4 hours, we're automatically green-lighted to go ahead and fix the problem, no matter the cost. And so that is one reason why we have that brand, like Catalina. I love Catalina. One thing that they do is they put extra construction features. Like whenever you look at the fender flares and stuff, it's actually going to be steel on the outside, but you're not necessarily going to have a big fancy LED light back behind the slide. They're putting that money into actual construction features, so it makes it really, really awesome.
A couple minutes before we go to break here, Jason, pull that mic nice and close. I want to ask you, for someone who's brand new, let's say you've got a customer or just someone driving down the road right now listening to KRMG and hearing Camping with Wade's RV, and they want to go, you know, maybe I'd like RVs. What are the first three things that they need to learn? What would you tell someone like that?
First three things they need to learn is how many people are going to be in it, what they're going to use it for, and is this the dealership that's going to support me after I buy it? That's the most important three things. Everybody's got campers for sale. It's who's going to take care of you after the sale.
Yeah, you guys have both been other places. How does this separate you?
There's a reason we're here.
I drive 52 miles to work here.
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, that means something then.
Yes, I skip over a lot of places to come to here.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a big reason why I'm here is because of what we have here. Whenever you come to work at a dealership, it's very much your name on it. We bring our customers with us. We obviously work here every single day. Our families come here. We want to make sure that we're working at a place that's going to support our values and help support our people as well, because we treat our customers like family.
Yeah, and you guys are really, really big into the community. And right after the break here, we're going to take a break for the news, and we'll check the forecast. It's going to be hot today, but it's a nice day. I mean, it's good to be sitting out here in this Newaire today. We're going to talk with Susan from Blue Star Mothers, and really this is something that you guys, I know you've been involved with for a while. It's really important to you, and we're going to talk about that when we come back from the break and how you, who is listening right now, can support this movement. And just all you got to do is come out and buy an RV, or you can bring by some hot sauce packets, as you said.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was one of my favorite little tips.
All right, let's take a break here, and you are listening to Camping with Wade's RV. This is 102.3 KR.
This is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk.
Welcome back. You're listening to Camping with Wade's RV. This is 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. And, man, we are broadcasting in style today. For the first time since March, Willy D and I are broadcasting just feet apart, socially distanced, of course, and inside the 34
Yes, it's a 34-foot. Yes.
34-foot Newmar Newaire, a beautiful RV out here at Wade's RV, 161st and Highway 75. In just a moment, we're going to tell you why it's really important that you come out here today. But first, I want to tell you where you should go, and that is 161st and Highway 75, and they can find you a couple other places online, another place right up the street here. Tell them all about it.
So we have our other location, and that's where we do a lot of our servicing. We have our paint booth there. We have those big jacks, which we can actually lift a unit of this size up in the air, and even up to 45 foot. We can lift those units up in the air and do chassis work and stuff like that. But we're out here at 161st and Highway 75, and you can always give us a call, 918-291-1011, or get on our website, and we'll make sure we get taken care of. But today is it's a very special day for us out here. We've been working the last couple weeks to raise donations and raise money for the Blue Star Mothers, and guess what? I got a full lobby full of these moms, so we're having a good old time out here. I have Hot Diggity Dogs out front, so he's making up some hot dogs. He's got lemonade. It's like the fair. I love it out here. So.
Well, you got to have that because there is no fair this year.
Yeah, so if you're looking for some fair food, I got it out here at Wade's RV. So come on out and get some hot dogs, get some food, and come on out here and meet these mothers and bring some donations with you. I'll let Susan kind of get into a little bit of what is most needed, but there's things like beef jerky, toothpaste, deodorant, stuff like that. That's what these guys are needing. And if you do donate monetary, that helps too. These boxes cost about $50 to get shipped over. So once you put the contents in there and get all the shipping and everything, it does get pretty pricey. And I was talking to these moms, and they haven't slowed down at all. They've been shipping out like 100 boxes a month, and so they've really been working. But there's been a cost to it. They've been having to dip into their savings account, which is for, kind of the rainy day fund. We didn't expect all of this to happen, but they've still been helping our troops and just doing whatever needed to be done to make sure they're helped out.
Susan with Blue Star Mothers joins us now, and like me, this is your first time in this unit, right?
Oh, yeah, and it's beautiful.
You're sitting in what must be the most comfy chair I've ever seen.
I tell you what, it's more comfortable than my lazy boy at home. I would take this chair home with me.
If you want to see what we're talking about, we're broadcasting from an RV, a Class A Newmar Newaire. It's beautiful. It's like a $500,000 thing, right? And
yes.
And we decided that they get that much money out of it because they put an E at the end of Newaire.
Yeah, you got to get a little fancy on there whenever you get into these, rigs. But come on out and see our Newmar Newaire. It just arrived, and we also have, a full line of motorhomes. That's one thing special about Wade's RV is we're really your one-stop shop. If you're looking for travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, there's different categories of that. You got travel trailers with toy haulers, same thing with fifth wheels. And whenever you're talking about motorhomes, you have Class A, you have Class B, and you got Class C. And at Wade's RV, we got it all. I was talking to a news reporter that came out here to do a little bit of a story, and she goes, "You got anything else to tell people?" I said, yeah, come out to Wade's RV because this is where it's at. So you got to come out here, and we really are your one-stop shop if you are looking for an RV or if you need parts or service. That's what we're here for.
So go to our Instagram at KRMG Tulsa. We just put up a video with me and Susan and Willy D giving a little tour of this thing. I love the camera. We talk about this thing too much. We can spend all hour on this Newaire. It's really cozy. But Susan, welcome to the show. Glad to have you with us. First of all, introduce people to Blue Star Mothers. Tell us a little bit about, for those that don't know, what Blue Star Mothers does.
Well, we are all mothers of sons or daughters that are either currently in the military or have been in the military. My son is a veteran, so he's been home for a while, but I stay with Blue Star Mothers because there are men and women who are out there and they need our support. So I treat them like they're all my children.
You know what it's like to have a son that's away and to have that worry and to know that he needs things and misses home. So what are some of the things that you guys love to ship over? I know the genesis is people donate items or money and you ship over items from home. What are some of the most popular things?
We send a lot of snacks. So, of course, every box we send out gets a box of Girl Scout cookies, which are always a hit.
That's awesome.
And beef jerky, packets of tuna. We do cans of fruit and soups and different spaghettis and stuff. And it's always needs to, we prefer the pop top cans. So if you want to donate cans of stuff, make sure it has that pop top.
It's a good idea.
Granted, they have the knives, they can get into cans, but we would rather make it easy on them. And then even if you go to a fast food restaurant and you get those, you come out with your burger and fries and you get a bag full of packets of ketchup, don't throw those away. We'll take those. All those little sauce packets from every little fast food restaurant you go to, we'll take those because we send those over and that makes those MREs taste a little bit better for them.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And who doesn't have a drawer full of those things, right?
Exactly. So clean out your drawers and bring them on up here to Wade's RV. I don't know if you've ever eaten an MRE, Skyler.
No, I haven't.
But it's not very flavorful.
Yeah.
And so it makes a huge difference whenever they have these packets. And that was probably my favorite little-known fact that I've learned, after the last couple of weeks. I was like, oh, I never even thought about that. But even those little items can make a huge difference. And we were talking about the other day, even comics and things like that are a great thing. And someone came in and they said, hey, are magazines okay? And I said, oh, yeah. So bring them on in because they wanted reading material. He was actually a veteran that was in the Navy, and he said, I had a store and stuff, but I didn't have any reading material or anything, so he wanted to go out of his way and bring some of that up here, and he brought a whole bunch of comics and then a whole bunch of really good reading material. I wanted to read a few stories myself, so it was really kind of cool to have those folks come on out here.
So non-food items like that are welcome too.
Absolutely. One of the things that if you still get the newspaper, save that comics page and that crossword page and just save them up for us and bring them to us. We put one of those in every box too, so they get the comics and a crossword to work, and that kind of gives them another connection to home. And we take all kinds of magazines, of course, as long as they're not politically type magazines, but your People magazines, your Field and Stream, any of your Sports Illustrated, anything.
I know I got a few Western Horsemen sitting around the house.
I used to have.
Absolutely, they would love those.
I had years of Dirt Wheels magazines built up for a while. The old four-wheeler and dirt bike magazines, and Car and Driver. All that stuff would be fun, right?
Oh, absolutely. They would love anything like that. Just something to, kind of take their mind off where they are sometimes. And because we've put them out there, and some of them are in the worst conditions, very far away from home.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get that box, and we call it a little piece of home. So they know that we're back here, we're thinking of them, we're waiting for them, and we're ready for them to be able to do their job and come home safe.
Absolutely.
And Willy D, let's bring it full circle. How can people help out by coming here?
So if you're looking at an RV, there's only one spot that you need to come this weekend, and that's Wade's RV. And it's not just because we have the selection and stuff, but it's because we're giving back to the community. That's something that Wade is a big person on. He gives back to the community all the time. There was a hurricane the other day, and he loaded up a full trailer of goods and drove down to help out the hurricane victims
Did he really?
himself. So I thought that was really cool, and he really likes to give back. Our customers have really taken care of us here at Wade's RV, and that's why we are so big, is because people come back and they, see what we do and see that it's different. But if you're looking for an RV, come on out here, because a portion of each RV that you buy is going back to these Blue Star mothers. So it's directly going to support our troops. And guess what? You can get out and you can start camping. I mean, that's what this show is about, is camping and getting out and enjoying that experience, because truly it is the best way to get away. And so you can get out, you can start turning miles into memories, is what we say here at Wade's RV. And so you can get out with your friends, your family, or I like to get out by myself sometimes. It's nice to get away from people. And so you can even get a small rig or as big as you want and go out and just really enjoy nature and learn about nature. We were talking about Lake Murray. One of the cool things about Lake Murray is they have a really cool nature center. And so I haven't ever been there, but I really, really want to go. And that's one of those cool things that they have.
Yeah, here in a couple of minutes, we want to tell you about a new upgrade they put out there. It's going to be, and you can find this on Facebook and see the pictures, and it's going to be something that makes everybody happy to have.
Yes.
We'll talk about that here in a couple of minutes on Camping with Wade's RV. Before we go to the break here, I know it's probably not slowing a whole lot of people down when it gets hot. It's not been the hottest summer either. We haven't even officially hit 100, so people are probably out camping, but fall camping is coming up, and we've talked on this show how that is like prime camping.
Yes, it's prime camping, but if you're looking for RVs, another reason you got to come to Wade's RV is we have a lot of RVs that are plugged in and cooled off. We're sitting in one right now, but we just finished that construction over up front, and we have all those concrete pads with the power and stuff. So whenever you're coming to look at an RV, you want to see it. I mean, they cost a little bit of money. I'd want to see how it looks. And so you're not just walking into a dark cave, and you're definitely not walking into one just pouring down sweat and stuff. So we want to make your shopping experience that much better. So we have a handful of units that are plugged in, lit up out there, so you can get a good feel for them and really just have the best shopping experience around. We even have golf carts to take you around the lot and stuff, because we are Oklahoma's only full-service dealership, and we're the largest, too. I have about 80 acres of property altogether of Wade's RV, and so we have a lot of area to cover, but like I said, we want to make sure the customers are taken care of.
Now come out here today and support Willy D with Wade's RV and Susan with Blue Star Mothers. It's a great cause they're working on. Now, where can people learn more? Is there a website, a phone number?
Right. You can contact us at babluestar.org, and our email address is babluestars@yahoo.com. And on our website, you can get a complete list of our needs and how to join. If there's moms or dads out there that have kids in the military, or you have a veteran and you want to get involved, please contact us. We need all the help we can get. We're all volunteer, and we love what we do, but we want to get you involved.
Absolutely. And I've been to the Blue Star Mothers myself. It's an awesome group of ladies. They have a fun time, and it's really cool. They have like a really cool camaraderie there. So if you kind of want to see what it's about, go out there, but be careful, because you'll probably hang out a little bit longer, and you're going to be back time and time again.
All right, Susan, thank you so much for coming on and telling your story. It's a really important cause.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's take a break. You're listening to Camping with Wade's RV on KRMG. I'm Skyler Cooper with Willy D. We'll wrap it up right after this.
Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk.
Welcome back. It is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG. Skyler Cooper with Willy D. Never have I wanted a radio show to just keep going all day.
We're having a good time today. Yeah, it's a great time. We're in a great location, and we're with great people.
Yeah, and just so cozy sitting in here in this Newmar, Newaire. And if you want to see what we're talking about, I've seriously never been so comfortable while doing a radio show. I'm hands-free with our headsets here. We're sitting in the describe this again. This is really nice leather. What is it? Why is it so soft?
It's real leather, and it's a high-quality leather. One thing that you'll find if you look at cars day-to-day, I'm a big car guy myself, is a different quality in leathers. If you're looking at your base model, it's probably going to be more of that pleather. You start looking at your top-of-the-line models, it's going to have a little bit more of that real leather, and it's going to be a lot softer and things like that. So being in the Newmar Newaire, this has the best of the best. It's got Flex Steel seats and furniture all the way around, and that's why it's so comfortable. And Flex Steel is a name that's been around and is tried and true. Whenever you look at your quality units, it's going to have some Flex Steel in it.
So if you want to see the pictures of this thing, it's really, really beautiful. Wade'sRV.com. I know you've got it on there. You've also got a video tour we just did on Instagram at KRMG Tulsa, so you can see Willy D's awesome tour there. One of the cool, seriously, we could probably do a second hour if Daryl Baskin would let us. But we have the full-size fridge. There's a king-size bed. The driver's seat and the co-captain here has the coolest chair. So check this thing out. And just see where we've been doing the radio show from today. Before we wrap up, we always like to give an update on places to go camping and
Yes.
state parks and everything. And I saw a post on Facebook from Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell yesterday. Had to send it to you and say, let's talk about this, because there's an upgrade coming to many, many state parks, and the first one has been installed. It's a very important feature at any park.
It's a important feature to me, and it's very close to me because I've had experiences both up and both down. So whenever I saw this, I was super, super excited. And I'll go ahead and spoil it for everyone. New bathrooms.
Yes.
Yes. So, we're always talking about being top 10 with the state and stuff, and I really love the initiative that, Governor Matt Pinnell has done for us. And so with him wanting to make these things top 10, we got to see a little bit of a preview from the outside, and that's actually at Lake Murray where that was getting installed at. And I've never been out there. I've always wanted to go because they have a really cool nature center, and the lake is very blue. So it's supposed to be crystal clear and blue. Experienced that in Oklahoma, so I want to see it. And so they're installing those out there. I'm sure I'm going to be out there very soon just because I saw this update, and I've wanted to go out there, and with it being warm, that's when you go to the lake. So I want to definitely get in there and check that out and stuff. But it's going to be new and improved bathrooms, and I'm excited to see what the interiors look like. But it looked like it was kind of individual shower units, and I would assume they're going to be super, super nice.
It looked really nice and clean down there at Murray Park, you said, at Lake Murray. So that's about 200 miles from where we sit, southwest of Oklahoma City. If you wanted to get more information, go to Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell's Facebook page, or I'm sure he tweeted it too, and just kind of see that. He said there's more of that to come for all of the state parks, and there's a big initiative for state parks right now. And all of the cool updates that we've talked about, the new app. You can go out and find it and book it online and get it all ready before you even get there. And the state's really coming into the modern age. That's one of the things the Lieutenant Governor told me the last time we talked about this. He said, we're like 20 years behind the times. People go out there and drop in slips into things and sign it up on a tree. You don't have to do that anymore.
No, it's very true. And some people have, kind of been getting upset. Oh, I got to pay for a parking pass. Well, where do you think this stuff is going to be funded from? You know what I mean? You got to give to, take a little. And so they're really trying to get our state parks up to par and really show the whole country what Oklahoma has to offer. I'm an Oklahoma native myself. I love Oklahoma. And so for me, it's very, very close to home. And I love to brag about it whenever I have friends from out of state. I always say, hey, I'm not going anywhere except Oklahoma. They actually come here and visit. And so it's been really, really cool to see these upgrades and see how it's changed throughout the year. Because it's been about 12 months and all these really cool changes have happened. And the app, like you said, with all the maps and things, and then with the new bathrooms, it's making your stay just as great as it can possibly be.
I think it was a month or so ago that Matt actually went out to Little Sahara State Park, one of my favorites, my absolute top favorite. I was a little offended he didn't call and invite me, because I know that place like the back of my hand until it gets dark, and then I get lost every time. It's not every time, but man, it's so easy to get lost. It's 1,400 acres of sand.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get turned around.
Don't tell me, it's not that Kane Brown situation, is it?
No.
Okay, good. I'm glad, because I was a little concerned with that.
We're about to wrap up here on Camping with Wade's RV. Remind us one last time why people should come out and see you guys open until 5 today.
You have to come out and see us because we have the Blue Star Mothers here, and a portion of every RV sold is going back to these mothers and the great cause that they stand behind. And let's say you're not in the market for an RV, go ahead and bring out some donations. So there's lots of different things that you can bring. If you get on the Facebook page, there's a list of 42 different items that they are in desperate need of due to the pandemic. They haven't been able to get all these donations, and they've been having to dip into their savings. So we want to make sure that they are taken care of. They have tons of supplies and tons of funding because guess what? They're taking care of our troops overseas, and they're also taking care of our troops here at home, our veterans.
Well, I really hate to wrap it up because this has been a fun show.
It's been great, yeah.
It's been a fun show. It's cozy. Maybe I could just hang out here all day if that's cool.
Yeah, I'll just lock the door and you can hang out in the back.
Yes, well, okay. Yeah, Tim says let's do
go.
part 2 next week. I'm all for that. This is Camping with Wade's RV. Make sure you listen every Saturday from noon until 1, and if you missed anything, you can always go back and hear our podcast, krmg.com or the KRMG app. And way back when we actually got to do the show together, a lot of cool videos from our studio and stuff. And maybe one day we'll get to do that again.
Hey, we'll get back to it one day. I have faith.
All right, thanks for listening, and make sure you stay tuned for the future of real estate with Daryl Baskin. This is 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk.